Hello YouTube, W&J's Handy Dad here, and today I want to talk about some myths regarding cleaning your engine bay. Now if you get on YouTube, you find a whole bunch of videos talking about cleaning the engine bay, many of which will say don't get this wet, don't get that wet. Chris Fix has a video where he actually cleans it by hand and doesn't use any water. I can't even imagine spending that much time doing this, but to each his own. But most of the videos talk about covering your alternator and your computer or even your battery with plastic or aluminum foil. The theory being that these are not designed to get wet. And then you also hear folks talk about the coil packs, for example on the Crown Vic. If they're wet, a lot of times you'll get misfires. Now that is true. If you have water sitting in your coil pack area and you're driving, you will probably get misfires. However, that is typically not a permanent problem and it's real easy to avoid. So my theory is real simple. You spray the whole engine down with a degreasing soap. My recommendation, you get some Dawn or some Palmolive or similar, dilute it with water, put it in a spray bottle where you have kind of a watery consistency to it, and just literally spray it all over your engine bay. And spray from all angles because there are all sorts of nooks and crannies that you'll miss. Keep in mind, I always do this on a cold engine. I do not drive somewhere and do this. I think spraying a hot engine with anything is kind of risky business. Now the nice thing is, you probably only have to do this once a year or once every couple years, depending on where you live. The rest of the time you can just kind of keep it maintained by doing what I call a quick engine detail, and I've already done a video of that. I'll post a link. And I like to take a soft brush, like one that you could use on your paint, and just kind of agitate the areas, scrub off where you see the dirt. Now, I generally keep a pretty clean engine anyway, so there's not near as much on here, but you'll see another Crown Vic at auction, so when I get that one, it's going to be filthy. Do this again for it. Now it's real hot here today, so I'm going to go ahead and start the water now because the soap is drying up. So I see people using a power washer, and I really don't recommend that. I think that's asking for trouble. I like to use a fine mist spray and just let the water rinse the soap and dirt away. Getting the alternator wet, getting the battery wet, getting the computer wet. Getting the coil packs wet. Just like when you cleaned, you want to rinse it from every angle so you don't miss anything. You can also wash the inside of the hood. I'm not doing that today. Mine's a little bit dirty and I probably should have, but I'm not going to today. Just I'm trying to demonstrate that you can wash your engine with water and not hurt it. Once you've rinsed all the soap off, the most important thing is to dry your engine. Here's my secret. Get a lawn and leaf blower, compressed air or something, and dry the water out of here before you ever try to start the car. The key with the blower is you've got to keep blow drying until you don't see splatters of water blowing off of there, particularly around your more sensitive areas like the coils. Once it's thoroughly dry, then you can treat it with whatever you like. If you like 303, or if you want to spray on your tire shine product on the black plastic areas, perfectly fine to do so. And then the very last thing you want to do after you've dried it is run the car at least to operating temperature, and that should dry out anything that you've missed. So with your 303 spray, let it soak as much as you can. It certainly does a better job when it soaks, and it'll protect more. And just, you know, basically look at it from every angle. You're going to find spots that you miss. I mean, that's normal. Just touch them up, and you know, you'll end up with a nice, shiny, presentable engine bay that, you know, if you ever go to sell your car or whatever, I think this looks a lot more sellable than if you've got one that's covered in dirt and grease and everything. Particularly, you know, when they can see that the fluids are clear. For example, the power steering, you can see that it's got the correct red fluid in it, the Mercon V, and that it's filled to the appropriate level. And I also think the 303 probably extends the life of all of your hoses and your wire conduit and so forth. So anyway, that's how I detail an engine. That's how I've been doing it for years. It seems to work perfectly fine. I don't know why all the myths about not getting water on certain things. My only thought on that is maybe people are spraying the engine, leaving it wet, and it sits overnight or something with water, and then obviously that can damage things. It's amazing how quickly rust can form on metal. So get it dry, use that blower thoroughly, make sure there's no water standing anywhere, and then just as a final precaution, run it till it's warmed up, and you should be good to go. I'm going to run it until it's warmed up to normal operating temperature, and that will dissipate any final liquid that might still be in there. You heard the belt squeak when it first started up. That's pretty normal. You see it's not squeaking now. There's no weird noises coming out of it or anything. Video was helpful. Appreciate it. Thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and please tell your friends about my channel. Thank you very much.